Coming up next on Good Morning El Paso, a downtown street that just opened to traffic will be closed again today. The traffic alert you need to know about. Plus,
we've waited 2 years for God to get justice for us on behalf of our son. And as always, God has proved to be faithful.
Breaking overnight, the verdict is in for the American Sniper trial. How long Eddie Ray Routh will spend behind bars.
And it was a cold, wet, and windy night yesterday, but can we expect a break from those winds today? We have your complete Storm Track weather coverage.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
A very good morning to you, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. We saw that video just now opening
Chills.
the show.
Oh my gosh, seeing it gave me chills.
Yeah, it's like reliving yesterday, Crystal, when that cold front came through. It was so miserable.
Yeah, it just hit hard. We saw the dust, then we saw the rain and the cold temps, and the whole time we saw the winds move through just as forecast. The official was actually 47-mile-per-hour gusts that were registered at the airport. Remember, we'd called for gusts around 50. Let's look at your temperatures this morning. Much better off. We are chilly, 38. It feels like 33, but winds only 6 miles per hour. A lighter start to those winds today, both El Paso and Las Cruces, where winds are just under 10 miles per hour out of the west. It feels like 23 degrees, though, in Las Cruces, so very chilly to start off. On our clouds and radar map, you can see the rain that hit us overnight. It's moved off to the east now, and instead we're dealing with clearer skies today. No chance of rain and lighter winds, but still some windiness. We'll talk about how high those gusts go this afternoon in just a few minutes.
All right, Crystal, thank you. The ex-Marine who killed American sniper Chris Kyle has been found guilty and sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Eddie Routh shot Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield to death. ABC's Bazi Kanani has the latest developing now.
We, the jury, find the defendant Eddie Ray Routh guilty.
A quick verdict from the jury, deciding that former Marine Eddie Routh knew what he was doing when he attacked the Navy's most famous sniper, Chris Kyle, and his friend Chad Littlefield.
We've waited 2 years for God to get justice for us on behalf of our son. And as always, God has proved to be faithful.
Their families leaving the court in tears after 2 weeks of testimony from 30 witnesses, including Kyle's widow, who was back in the Texas courtroom Tuesday after a weekend trip to represent her husband at the Oscars, where the blockbuster film recounting his heroics in Iraq was nominated 6 times. Taya Kyle told the court about the last time she saw her husband.
We just said we loved each other and gave each other a kiss and a hug like we always did.
Later that day, at a shooting range, Routh gunned down the fellow veterans who were trying to help him cope with PTSD. Defense attorneys argued he was suffering from schizophrenia at the time. Prosecutors showed the jury this video of Routh leading police on a high-speed chase after their murders, arguing it proves that despite any mental health issues, he knew what he did was wrong. In less than 3 hours, the jury reached the same conclusion, sending Routh to prison for the rest of his life. His defense attorneys say they will appeal. Bazi Kanani, ABC News, Washington.
Developing now, even though 128 of its planes missed a required inspection, federal officials will allow Southwest Airlines to continue flying its planes. The airline has 5 days to complete the inspections, though. Those planes grounded yesterday after the airline discovered missing inspections. The grounding resulted in about 80 flight cancellations on Tuesday. Managers anticipate another 19 flights canceled today. We'll let you know if any of them affect El Paso. So far, they do not. We now know the terms of University Medical Center's ultimatum to El Paso Children's Hospital. Here's a look at just a few of the highlights. UMC wants the hospital to appoint a new board of directors. UMC says Children's owed it more than $89 million as of December 31st. It proposes to make Children's repay just short of $50 million and take what it calls a membership interest in Children's for the other $39.9 million. Numbers would be updated and finalized should Children's agree to the proposal. Also, for a 5-year period, UMC would not accept a bankruptcy filing from Children's unless required by law. The UMC board voted to give Children's until Friday to accept or reject the term sheet. UMC agreed to provide Children's a 30-day notice that it will cease to provide services unless the proposal is accepted.
The construction worker killed at the site of the new William Beaumont Army Medical Center has yet to be identified. This happened around 10 yesterday morning. Fort Bliss officials are calling it a work-related accident. We're told the Occupational Safety and Health Administration is investigating. We'll update you once we get any new information. And we now know the name of the man killed in the Providence Hospital parking lot. Police identify him as 31-year-old Jose Trujillo. Now this happened 6:30 Monday night on the 2000 block of North Oregon. Police say Trujillo and another person were working on a Ford F-250 truck. Trujillo got underneath it to remove the drive shaft so the truck could be towed. When it started to move, Trujillo was caught under the truck's right rear tire. He suffered injuries to his head and later died.
The downtown traffic headaches are not going away just yet, even though a lot of commuters probably thought they were about to go away.
Yeah, Santa Fe Street has now closed again because of more construction. Good morning, El Paso's Luke Liddon is live with more details.
Stephanie, Hillary, take a look to my left. Santa Fe Street is open here, but just 2 quick steps to my right, you'll see at Santa Fe in Maine, it is completely shut off due to this construction. Until 10 p.m. tonight, Santa Fe Street between Maine and San Antonio will be completely shut down. Crews will be working on adding trees and textured crosswalks in this area, and that's the main reason for this construction. The city also needs to resurface portions of the street to improve the visual impression of the area. Drivers are encouraged to follow the marked detours, which are now in place during the one-day closure, and it's very big signage. It's not hard to follow, and sidewalks will remain open for the pedestrians to use. And I actually just talked to a construction worker not too long ago, and he said they expect to finish construction by 2 p.m. today, but at the very latest, it will reopen around 10 p.m. tonight. But if you are planning on coming down in this direction, you'll definitely want to plan ahead of time. Reporting live in downtown El Paso, Luke Liddon, ABC 7.
Oh, Luke, that's an awful lot of orange barrels behind you. People are getting tired of seeing those, right, Steph?
Of course, but of course we're going to have to continue seeing them downtown for a while.
Progress.
Exactly. And now looking at I-10 and Joe Battle, you can see that traffic is flowing smoothly, no problems to report. Looks pretty smooth out there, smooth sailing, if you will, when people are leaving the area. Or actually, they're coming into the city, excuse me.
Looks good either way, right? You were right
Exactly.
either way. A local mother is helping other mothers find a more eco-friendly, cheaper alternative to disposable diapers.
We're talking the return of the cloth diaper. ABC 7's Maria Garcia takes a look in her special report coming up in about 15 minutes. Also,
we're using parts from some of these other older vehicles that we retired to keep the rest of the fleet going on. That's an embarrassment.
The Doña Ana County Sheriff says his fleet units are so in need of repair, it's putting the lives of his deputies at risk.
and can we see a break from those winds? Meteorologist Crystal Clay is standing by with your forecast. Crystal.
Well, we've got some good and bad news to answer that question. We're going to check in on your expected wind speeds coming up right after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.